بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعه إلى يوم الدين أما بعد الحمد لله رب العالمين. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the opportunity to continue in reflecting on the surah of the Quran as it was revealed in the order it was revealed in. And we talked about this, and the benefit of that is to see what ayat Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought at what time and what events and what fields or feelings and mood the Muslims were in and experiences they were going through. And also to see what a Muslim should be taking care of in a way of priorities. Definitely Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave the early Muslims that which is important to build their iman on, or to build their Islam on. And as event unfolded in the Meccan time, beginning, middle, and end, and Medina time, beginning, middle, and end, the subject matter changes and the importance of the issues became a little bit different, and so on. So far we talked about, today we'll finish inshallah the fourth surah it was revealed, Surah Al-Muddathir. And before it was Al-Muzammil, before it Al-Qalam, and before it Al-Alaq. So Al-Alaq came first. There is no other opinions about that. And then there is Al-Qalam, and there is some opinion between Al-Qalam and Al-Muzammil, but most opinions says Al-Qalam next, and then Al-Muzammil, and then Al-Muddathir. And Al-Muddathir, we came to close to the end of the surah. The beginning of the surah, we'll go through it quickly inshallah, is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talking to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, calling him with a name that is, a beautiful name, has to do with, a touch of intimacy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, oh, the one who is covered up, okay, stand up. Qum fa'anzir. And that is the beginning of standing up and giving the message. Again, we talked about that is the first of the messages, anzir. Anzir, it is warn. So there is the messengers of Allah give good news and warns. Here it is warnings. It started with the warning. قم فأنذر وربك فكبر وثيابك فطهر والرجز فاهجر ولا تمنن تستكثر ولربك فاصبر. That is the steps of the one who's given da'wah. Stand and give warnings. وَرَبَّكَ فَكَبِّرْ. Glorify your Lord. وَثِيَابَكَ فَطَهِّرْ. And your garment clean and purify. وَالرُّجْزَ فَهْجُرْ. Any filth, stay away from it. Whatever that filth in the society and so forth. وَلَا تَمْنُن تَسْتَكْثِرْ. And do not get to the point that you cut off because you say you all have enough, or what is coming is so much, is overwhelming, or I have done enough, or what is coming upon me is enough for me. Do not go there, just continue. And وَلِرَبِّكَ فَاصْبِرْ, and be patient in the path of your Lord. And being patient, we said, patient on that which you have to do, being patient away from what you shouldn't do, and being patient on what's happening to you. That is being patient. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talked about the فَإِذَا نُقِرَ فِي النَّاقُورِ. That is when the trumpet is blown, basically. If you go back to the 2 sessions before, we talked about this in some details. فَذَلِكَ يَوْمَئِذٍ يَوْمٌ عَسِيرٌ. This day that the horn will be blown, means the day of judgment, is a difficult day. عَلَى الْكَافِرِينَ غَيْرُ يَسِيرٌ. Upon the disbeliever, it is not easy. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes with the same rhythm as the surahs before. Dharni, we heard it before. Dharni, let me be with whom? Different ways, different people, different attacks upon Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Islam and so forth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, don't worry about this. Just go on what you're doing. I'll take care of them. Dharni, let me be with who? Man khalaqtu wahida, the one I created by himself. We talked about by himself, meaning he was a single person for a family. There was only one child, or the one who was taking care of all the hujjaj. He can do the work of all the Meccans himself. That's how much money he has. فَذَرْنِي وَمَنْ خَلَقْتُ وَحِيدًا وَجَعَلْتُ لَهُ مَالًا مَمْدُودًا, and give him wealth and money, so much of it. وَبَنِينَ شُهُودًا, and his children did not have to go anywhere to make a living. They are with him. They are there standing witness on all of this. They are standing by, taking care of things and so forth. وَبَنِينَ شُهُودًا. نعم. That is ذرني ومن خلقت وحيدا وجعلت له مالا ممدودا وبنين شهودا ومهدت له تمهيدا, and made things very easy for him. Okay. ثم يطمع أن أزيد, and he is insisting, he wants more. كلا, no. سنرهقه صعودا, we will exhaust him in climbing. And we talked about this expression, exhaustion in climbing. He wants to achieve something, and it becomes very difficult for him to do that. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did this to him? Because إِنَّهُ فَكَّرَ فَقَدَّرَ. And this is a profound point now. فَكَّرَ. He thought, meaning he took this matter into the process of what a human being does. Take something, ideas, and think about it. Look at things and think about it. Evaluate things and make decisions. So he is reaching the peak of what a human being does. Okay, this is, فَكَّرَ فَقَدَّرَ, then he measured. فَقُتِلَ كَيْفَ قَدَّرَ, may be killed for what he measured. ثُمَّ قُتِلَ كَيْفَ قَدَّرَ, and he may be killed for what he measured. What did he do? ثُمَّ نَظَرَ ثُمَّ عَبَسَ وَبَصَرَ. He looked and then frowned, and then he had an expression in face as he's thinking and all of this, right? ثُمَّ أَدْبَرَ وَاسْتَكْبَرَ, turned away and became arrogant. فَقَالَ إِنْ هَذَا إِلَّا سِحْرٌ يُؤْثَرُ, this is nothing but magic. إِنْ هَذَا إِلَّا قَوْلُ الْبَشَرِ, that is, this is nothing but the saying of human being. Okay. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for all of this, what he's doing to have, to propagate this idea that this is a saying of magic that is known to be in the old and we can trace it back, or it is very effective. Yu'thar here could mean this or that, or very effective. Okay, and so forth. And it is nothing but the saying of people. Okay, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answered him by sanuslihi saqar. We will punish him in saqar. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا سَقَرْ, what do you know about saqar? لا تبقي ولا تذر, does not leave alone nor keep things as it is. لواحة للبشر, how it is can reach the skin from the heat of it to peel it off. And the word that has to do with the punishment of saqar. Okay. نعم. عليها 19. نعم. That is, upon it there is 19. And what is 19? Okay, that meaning 19 angels. And now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us about why Allah put this number 19. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not tell us why. So it is just a fitna. It's just a fitna. Here Allah talked about it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about al-ghayb, and take al-ghayb, the unseen, that which you cannot detect with your own senses. That Allah put it right there. Okay, and take it as it is. And it is a fitna. وَمَا جَعَلْنَا now عِدَّتُهُمْ إِلَّا فِتْنَةً لِلَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. It is fitna. It is a trial and tribulation for those who are disbelievers. وَلِيَسْتَيْقِنَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ. And for the people of the book to give them yaqeen, certainty that what they had in revelation about hellfire and so forth is correct, it is sound, right? And those are believers, their iman, their belief will increase. وَلَا يَرْتَابَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ. And those people of the book have no doubt. وَالْمُؤْمِنُونَ, also the believers will have no doubt. وَلِيَقُولَ, for the purpose of, they will say, who are they? Those who are sick in their heart and those who are disbelievers. What will they say? وَلِيَقُولَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا وَلِيَقُولَ الَّذِينَ فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ مَرَضٌ وَالْكَافِرُونَ مَا أَرَادَ اللَّهُ بِهَذَا مَثَلًا. They will say, what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants with this here? What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala meant with this number here and so forth? Okay. كَذَلِكَ يُضِلُّ اللَّهُ مَنْ يَشَاءُ وَيَهْدِي مَنْ يَشَاءُ. Like that, Allah will take people astray. Okay. And will guide what He wishes. Allah will take him astray, those who wishes, and Allah will guide who He wishes. وَمَا يَعْلَمُ جُنُودَ رَبِّكَ إِلَّا هُ. And nobody knows the soldier of Allah except who? Except Him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? And it is only that's a warning for humanity. Okay? Now Allah talks about the moon. كَلَّا وَالْقَمَرِ وَاللَّيْلِ إِذْ أَدْبَرَ وَالصُّبْحِ إِذَا أَسْفَرَ إِنَّهَا لَإِحْدَى الْكُبَرِ. Okay? نذيرا للبشر لمن أراد منكم أن يتقدم أو يتأخر. That is by the moon, by the night as it goes away, and by the day as it bright. This Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swearing by these things, meaning saying that the night has a moon that will shine a little bit, you'll be able to see. But also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that the night will go away and the day will become bright. In other words, this matter will indication that this matter will prevail and becomes very great and so forth. Okay, that is a unique issue that we were mentioning here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is swearing about this subject of hellfire and so forth and the unseen and the Quran. Okay, and this is for those that they wish to come forward or to go back. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about wishing here. I will talk about it a little bit, inshallah. Now we're just reviewing quickly. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first talked about what He will guide, He wish, He will misguide what He wish. And then the wishing here becomes to the person himself. Okay, it's for you to do what you wish. To go forward, you go ahead. You go back, you go back. Now we're going to talk about wishing here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wishes and we wish, and how these will go together. Okay, and the word wishing also comes close to the very end of the surah. Okay, فَمَنْ شَاءَ, and he who wishes as well, he will remember. And what does all this wishing means, right? So then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, كُلُّ نَفْسٍ بِمَا كَسَبَتْ رَهِينًا. Every soul, every nafs is hold hostage with what they earn, what it earns. Okay, except those who are believers, those with the right hand, meaning the believers, the good doers. In other words, everybody will be held accountable in details But the believers, they will go quickly. Not much details. Okay, and in Jannat, here is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving glad tidings. But the glad tidings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given is quick, not details. Jannat, gardens. Yatasa'alun, they're asked. Okay? Talking to who? To people in Saqar now, in hellfire. ما سلككم في سقر? What brought you to Saqar? Okay? And now we're going to go now in a little bit of details. We talked about it a little bit. But now let us start from this point on now, go into a little bit deeper. Again, what I just said so far, can go back to the 2 sessions before, and we broke it down, alhamdulillah, to some depth. Okay. So, مَا سَلَكَكُمْ فِي سَقَرَ, and we talked about it some last week. What brought you to Saqar? قالوا, they said, okay, لَمْ نَكُ مِنَ الْمُصَلِّينَ وَلَمْ نَكُ نُطْعِمُ الْمِسْكِينَ وَكُنَّا نَخُوضُ مَعَ الْخَائِضِينَ وَكُنَّا نُكَذِّبُ بِيَوْمِ الدِّينِ حَتَّى أَتَانَا الْيَقِينَ. 4 things that they did until death, the absolute certainty, death came to them. What are the 4 things? لَمْ نَكُ مِنَ الْمُصَلِّينَ. We were not from those who are praying. So this is the duties that's upon us toward Allah, the salah. وَلَمْ نَكُ نُطْعِمُ الْمِسْكِينَ. And that we were not from among those who give food to the miskin, to the absolute needies. Okay? So that is what the rights and duties we have upon those who are the human being. So they did not take care of both their duties toward Allah and their duties toward a human being. And then the other 2, okay, لم نكن من المصلين ولم نكن نطعم المسكين وكنا نخوض مع الخائضين وكنا نكذب بيوم الدين. We used to, the 2 things that they were doing. The first 2 is that they should be doing and they didn't do. The second 2 that they should not be doing and they did. نخوض مع الخائضين. نخوض, we talked about it, that you go into the water, if you will, you tip your toes in it, and then it comes to your, shin, and then your knees, and then your thigh. You go into dwell and you go deep into things that you should not dwell in it, should not go in it, period. Okay, you just, anything goes, and any subject goes, and any opinion goes, and all kind of a mess and speculation and all of this, right? No, we used to do that. They say those who are in Saqar, in hellfire. وَكُنَّا نَخُوضُ مَعَ الْخَائِضِينَ وَكُنَّا نُكَذِّبُ بِيَوْمِ الدِّينِ. And we were those among those who are denying the day of judgment, the day of accountability, the day of reckoning. Okay? So here is the 4 things that the 2 things that the believers did and disbeliever did not do, and 2 things that the believer did not do and that the disbelievers did. Right? حتى أتانا اليقين, until the absolute certainty reached us. And what is the absolute certainty? Is death. We are all certain of that. Believers or disbelievers are certain that death will come. That's it. حتى أتانا اليقين. Okay. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَمَا تَنْفَعُهُمْ شَفَاعَةُ الشَّافِعِينَ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that the intercession of those who are permitted to intercede will not help them. Okay, here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings the matter into there is a help that one can give others. There is a testimony and seeking to intercede. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will open that door at the day of judgment. Like the Quran will intercede. The martyrs will intercede. Okay, some will intercede on the behalf of the others. Okay, and so forth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala eventually will give intercession to those who enter Jannah. to leave Jannah and go into hellfire, get the people that used to pray with them and so used to know them. Allah will give the opportunity for that even. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the end, He will intercede Himself subhanahu wa ta'ala and getting out of hellfire numbers that only Allah knows the number. Okay? But here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not give details in any of this, but opens door. Remember all these new ayat, this new deen, something new. Believers are listening to it, and disbelievers are listening to it. Those are learning and those are rejecting it. It is new to them. That there is some intercession. But up to that point, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling them, no intercession will help. Okay? No one will help in your behalf. Because helping in behalf of somebody, this is something we sort of depend on in this life. Right? When you are going through difficulties, it depends on what kind of difficulties you're going through, but you're seeking help. First, you try to take the means to help yourself. You can't. Then you try to look for somebody, okay, to help you. Immediate person, you can't. You try to hear if somebody's kind of far away or something that you can call to help you. You cannot hear and there. Then maybe you're going to walk and go to those who are expert in the matter that you need help in or something. There is the mechanism of seeking help from somebody is within us all the time, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taking this mechanism to alertness. Okay, this is not going to help you. That day, even those who want to intercede in your part, their intercession will not be accepted. So they will intercede, because in this verse Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, the intercession of those who intercede will not help. In other words, they will intercede and try their best, and it's not going to work. Because the one who allows this at that day, Allah, or any day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, فَمَا لَهُمْ عَنِ التَّذْكِرَةِ مُعْرِضِينَ كأنهم حمر مستنفرة فرت من قسورة. Okay. بل يريد كل امرئ منهم أن يؤتى صحفا منشرة كلا بل لا يؤمنون بالآخرة كلا إنه تذكرة فمن شاء ذكره. Okay. وما يذكرون إلا أن يشاء الله هو أهل التقوى وأهل المغفرة. That is surah to the end. Now, what is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us, the scene here? Let's take it in English, step by step, and then reflect on it inshallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, what is the matter with them? Why are they refusing the remembrance? Why they refuse the remembrance? Why they refuse people to remind them? Why they're pushing away the remembrance? As if, and now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave a picture, as if they are like donkeys, wild donkeys, like zebras, like wild donkeys. مستنفرة, running away. فرت من قسورة. Running away from قسورة is the lion. As if they are, zebras are running away from the lion. This is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes them, running away from the remembrance. Okay? بل يريد كل امرئ منهم. But what they want, what they're requesting, what they insist on and what they want is each one to be reminded alone and coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to them, suhuf, pages, munashara all over, and they take this for them and for them alone like this, specially and so forth, right? They don't want this reminder. They want something physical in front of them to look at and this and that, okay? Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, no, it's not like that. And it's not going to be like that. إِنَّهُ تَذْكِرَةٌ. All of this is reminder. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala repeat that word again. Okay? مَا لَهُمْ عَنِ التَّذْكِرَةُ مُعْرِضِينَ. Why are they away from tazkirah, from the reminders, running away like donkeys from the line? And then they requesting this and that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, no, this is tazkirah. This is a reminder. The word tazkirah is repeated. Okay? كَلَّا إِنَّهُ تَذْكِرَةٌ. Okay? لِمَنْ شَاءَ ذَكَرَ. Whomever he wishes, whomever he wishes will remember it. Dhakara is again for the third time within this ayat Allah mentioned tadhkirah, that whomever he wishes he will remember it. And then وَمَا يَذْكُرُونَ, and they will not have يَذْكُرُونَ also the word dhikr, reminders and remember, إِلَّا إِنْ يَشَاءَ Allah, except what Allah make them remember. Okay, so you find the word remember at the very beginning. They're running away from remembrance, and they want something physical to look at pages from Allah, especially for each one of them. But no, it has to be remembrance. Okay, and whoever remembers it, and Allah is the one who will enable you to remember. Okay, and then at the end, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, huwa ahlu taqwa wa ahlu maghfirah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that you run into Allah for taqwa and maghfirah. The taqwa, the protection and the righteousness and conscious of Allah and being protected from Allah, you only go to Allah for that. And then if you're making mistakes and so forth, don't worry. Allah also Ahlul Maghfirah, the one who is abundance with having abundance of forgiveness as well. So you can always change your mind and go back. No problem, Allah will forgive you. The door is open. So what is this picture? Okay. What is the idea of donkeys running from a lion and connected with tazkirah, with remembrance? كَلَّا بَلْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْآخِرَةِ. This is something I skipped in the translation. No, but they do not believe in the hereafter. كَلَّا إِنَّهُ تَذْكِرَةٌ. No, it is a reminder. So no, they do not believe in the hereafter. This was included that I overlooked. Okay, so now what is this picture like that? Tazkirah is unique for a human being. Remembrance and take a heed of something is for a human being. Other than human being, you can give them a habit, not a way to reflect. Okay? Only those reflect as a human being. So an animal, you can get him used to a sound when the food is ready. So you make that sound. Or you call the animal by a sound, not a word, a sound, and a sound they would know, right? So what are the donkeys and the lion? When the lion comes around attacking, charging against the donkeys look at the lion, you can smell the lion, they know the posture of the lion, they know the lion now is about to attack, their heart pumping, the sweat, and running, and looking for a place. Okay, immediately they look for a place to go for refuge. And a lion is after them, and then the chase comes to an end. By the lion getting tired, the zebra is going farther away in different direction, or the lion actually capturing one of them and start devouring it. Okay, but eventually the chase ends. What happened when the chase ends? The zebra is gone and start grazing again. What happened? It's like a switch. Like a switch. Who's here?
Yes, I'm here.
Who's here? Arfan, mashallah. So, right, the zebra goes to grazing immediately, right? So there is no remembrance. But once the lion is ready to attack again, it goes on again. But then they forget. Okay. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying they are running away from remembrance like the donkey is running away from the lion. They're refusing to be a human being. They're refusing to be someone that takes a heed from guidance and remembrance. Okay? What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the disbelievers. Okay? إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا in Surah Muhammad. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا يَتَمَتَّعُونَ وَيَأْكُلُونَ كَمَا تَأْكُلُ الْأَنْعَامُ وَالنَّارُ مَثْوًى لَهُمْ. That is, the disbelievers are seeking pleasure and eating like cattle eat, and then eventually hellfire is their abode. Okay? What is that? Allah saying that they are like cattle. That remembrance, they're taking it away from their system. They do not think about that. But they seek pleasure and eat like animals do. Okay. And in another ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنْهُمْ إِلَّا كَالْأَنْعَامِ بَلْ هُمْ أَضَلُّ سَبِيلًا. They are nothing except like the cattle, but they are more astray than a cattle. The disbelievers. Why? Because a cattle is created that way, but a disbeliever is not created that way. So if you act like a cattle, you're worse than a cattle because you could be better than a cattle. Okay? So here is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, what a human being does in something like this, as a being that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created. We cannot help but our very soul, our very being remembers. Our very being remembers. When it's something that happens that is to us and we experience it in a very close way. When you drive in the car and you're having an accident, okay, that does not leave you if the accident is so much and so forth. Okay, it just the following day you not just become a normal person walking away. No, as you enter in the car, what happened? After that, you start shaking a little bit, thinking a little bit. You need to psych yourself to be able to drive again, okay, and so forth, because you start sweating and so forth, because that accident left a mark on you. That's a human being. An animal is not like that, right? Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us reminders and ask us to look at what Allah is telling us in the hereafter as if it is happening now. So it should leave a mark on you and you should remember it. But the disbelievers are pushing away remembrance and they don't want to be affected by it and they don't want to hear it. Okay? This is what the issue what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talking about here. Allah talked about saqar and hellfire and details of hellfire and what it does, right? And then they are in saqar, and what they are doing, they're answering. We're not praying, yeah? And we did not feed the miskin, and we was dwelling in anything as we wish, and we were denying the day of judgment, right? This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving us, and the believers were in Jannah and talking in Jannah about the disbeliever and to the disbeliever, and the disbelievers are replying to them. So this is in reality that will come. Okay? Here in this ayat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, كَلَّا بَلْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْآخِرَةِ. They do not believe in the hereafter. They don't want to discuss this matter of the hereafter. Okay? They don't want to be human being. Okay? So this is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making it, clear to us. Okay? That al-ghayb, the unseen, is very important to us. But in here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying al-ghayb in a way of warning is very important, as important, or could be sometimes more important than al-ghayb in the reward. Right? Because what at the beginning of the surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talking to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, قُمْ فَأَنذِرْ, stand up and give warnings. Ya ayyuhal muddaththir, qum fa'anzir. Did not say qum, stand up and give glad tidings. No, give warnings. And in the surah, talking about warnings. How many surahs we talked so far? This is the 4th surah in Revelation. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talked about warnings and warnings and warnings in them. Did not describe Jannah and what's in Jannah and the believer in it, not yet. You need to think about this first. You need to save yourself from what you're in first. Okay? And we've seen the warnings. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and the companion, stay away from this, stay away from that. Stay away from this system. They are, disbelievers and so on. Stay away from their ways. وَالرُّجْزَ فَهْجُرْ. Any filth and so forth, stay away from it. So that's what you need to think about first, to build up yourself as a believer. Okay? This is how Allah raised Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the companions at the beginning to be able to be the best of human being ever walked on earth to guide all mankind. These are Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is advising us. Who else you want to give advice? Who else you want to take advice from? Okay? And talking about this, the revelation as it was revealed, and the order it was revealed, it helped us to see the environment that was in. Muslims were a small number. The disbelievers were a lot. The system was a filthy system all around them. And when such a situation occurred, what is more important than what? What you need to pay attention to and so forth. Right? So here is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying that is, this remembrance has to be something that is with you strong. What's wrong with them? They are running away from remembrance. The line is representing the person who is reminding. And the one who's running away is represented by donkeys who are running away from the reminders. And the person who is reminding. Okay? Be a human being. You're being an animal now is worse than an animal. An animal does not think about the future. Does not worry about the future. The birds do not go to their nests at night wondering if tomorrow they will have food or not. Okay? They don't. They depend on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala 100%. They get up in the morning, they fly, and they are guided to the areas where the food is. Okay? A human being does not do that. A human being looks in the future. Okay? And plan for the future. So now when it comes to the hereafter, they don't believe in it. And they don't want to look at that future. But they look at the future that they have in this life. But not the ultimate future in the hereafter. That's why they are like donkeys. Okay? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created them as a human being. They're capable of getting this information. And there is no denying in this. Okay? So they will take care of today and tomorrow in the way of life now. Who's going to be in control, what we're going to be holding back here and there and so forth. So they did not pray to Allah. They are disconnected with Allah. Allah is al-ghayb. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who brings them all of this and so forth, but they took it for granted. Remember the first surah? Okay? Surah Al-Alaq. Kalla an ra'ahu istaghna. Okay? That is the one who will be misguided or stay away from guidance when he finds himself independent. When he finds himself, he is in control of things. Okay? كَلَّا إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَا يَطْغَى أَن رَآهُ اسْتَغْنَى. No, a human being will go beyond the boundaries when he finds himself self-sufficient. So they found themselves self-sufficient from Allah, so they did not pray to Allah. They did not think that they are responsible for the needy, so they did not care about the needy. The relationship with Allah is disconnected, the relationship with the people disconnected. Their duties toward the Creator and the creation is disconnected. But they dwell in these subjects in a nonsense. but they don't want to get the reminder, right? If somebody comes in and say, you know, we die and then we come back as dogs or cats or in a different life like this, and tell you know, oh really, tell me about that. You understand? They will dwell in this and dwell in that, so long that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not in the equation. The reality and the truth is not in the equation. The warning is not in the equation. Hellfire is not in the equation. Accountability is not in the equation. They will dwell. نَخُوضُ مَعَ الْخَائِضِينَ. We'll go with anybody who's saying anything, except those who are giving us a true reminder. And then وَكُنَّا نُكَذِّبُ يَوْمِ الدِّينِ. And we were denying the day of accountability, the day of reckoning. And at the end of the ayat, right? And they were denying that they refused the remembrance, refusing the remembrance, and they deny that day. They deny that day. What happened to the donkeys that day? Okay, what happened to the donkeys that day, the day of judgment? All the animals will turn to dust. Allah will judge among them. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam was walking with Ali radiallahu anhu, and they saw two sheep. One was horn and one without. And the one was horn charged and hit the other one with his horn. Rasulullah said, Ali, do you know what their dispute is? He said, Allah Rasulullah, I don't know. Then Rasulullah said, they have a dispute, and Allah will judge among them the day of judgment. Okay? So there is some dispute there. And the day of judgment, Allah will judge among the animals too, right? But the animals, they do that out of protection, out of this, out of that, right? Not out of a choice and thinking and so forth, right? They have no do's and don'ts, okay? They have instincts that they go by. And then after the matter is done, they will all turn it to dust. And then when the disbelievers see this, they will say, I wish I was dust. I wish I was dust. In other words, I wish I was an animal. So he was acting like an animal running away from remembrance. At the day of judgment, he wished to be a real animal. So he will just disappear as dust. But it's not going to happen to him. Saqar is waiting for him. And so what is this mechanism that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us? Okay, given us that you need to think about the unseen and think about the warnings more than the glad tidings as well, but the warnings. Okay, think about it and take heed. That will put you on the straight path. And you cannot refuse to submit to that which you cannot contain with your own senses. Al-Ghaib, that you cannot see, you cannot taste, you cannot hear, you cannot touch. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you about it, tells you what it looks like, what it might feel like, and so forth, even what it sounds like. Okay. So take this as a reality, as a reality. بل يريد كل امرئ منهم أن يؤتى صحفا منشرة. But each one of them, they want صحف منشرة. Each one of them, they are running away like donkeys. But do you want us to believe in this? Do not keep reminders and all of this, and just give us something. They relate to something tangible. They take and read and look, and there will be special between them and Allah and all of. They making conditions. We're going to listen, but if you do this, and this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when they say that, Allah says, Kalla innahu tadhkira. No, absolutely not. Not ever. This is not the way. It is tadhkira. It is a reminder. This is all what you're going to get. Take it or leave it. فَمَنْ شَاءَ ذَكَرَ. Whoever he wishes will remember it. That's it. You don't want to? Khalas. Okay. And وَمَا يَذْكُرُونَ إِلَّا أَن يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ. Then they will not remember except when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wishes for them to remember. Now we get into this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I will guide whomever I wish. I will misguide whomever I wish. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the saying and of the hellfire and the hereafter and all of this, through that will misguide some and will guide some. Allah will wish to do this and that. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and whoever you wish go forward, whoever wish go back, and then whoever you wish have the remembrance, and you will not wish unless Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow you to wish. What is this, right? It is all going together here. Are we free or are we not? Do we have a choice or we do not have a choice, right? If Allah wishes, we'll guide, but you're not going to wish unless Allah wishes. So, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, if you wish to be guided, you'll be guided. So how you put this puzzle together? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clearly tell you there is hellfire and paradise, and it depends on the choices you make. Therefore, you have a choice. That's justice. There is no doubt about that. There is no doubt about that. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even said, وَمَا كُنَّا مُعَذِّبِينَ حَتَّى نَبْعَثَ رَسُولًا. We will not punish unless we send a messenger. That's justice. I don't know about the hereafter. I don't know about angels. I don't know about this and that. So how are you going to judge me about this and that which I don't know? Then Allah will send a messenger. When you get the news, now this will be held for you or against you. It depends on how you deal with it. Okay? Okay. Now, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran who are those that will not be guided by Allah. Because Allah will guide whom He wishes. He will not guide certain people. Who is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَهْدِي الْقَوْمَ الْكَافِرِينَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَهْدِي الْقَوْمَ الظَّالِمِينَ. Allah will not guide those who are kuffar. Allah will not guide those who are committing injustice. Allah will not guide those who are hypocrites. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell you these categories here, Allah will not guide. Okay? So they are in this category. Allah did not put them in this category. They chose to be in this category. And once they have that choice to be guided or not, and they choose to be misguided and go into that choice, take themselves into that choice, then Allah will not guide them, because this is what they have chosen. And that's justice. So we still have a choice. So we come out of that saying that there is a guidance to the path. And there is a guidance in the path. Allah will not guide you in the path. The second guidance will not come to you until we choose the first guidance. Okay? We always give example of a policeman and you're lost, right? You don't know which to go. There is a fork in the road and you have an address and you don't know which direction to go. Now a policeman is standing. You ask the policeman, this is the address I want to go. I want to go to Colombia. He said, you take the right road, the one on the right. Now that is guidance. And the police officer have no power over you. They're not going to push you here and there. He's just guiding you because you need guidance. Now you took this guidance and you're looking at the policeman and you're saying if he's worthy to follow his guidance or not. You're evaluating this. And maybe you look at him, whatever ways, but you still have a choice now. You have guidance in your hand and you have a choice. Now, if you choose go to the left, not the right, the policeman will look at you and just let you go into the misguidance. He'll feel sorry for you. Okay? And you will go and you'll never get there. But when you get somewhere else, don't blame the police officer now. No. But if you appreciate and take the right path, the one on the right, now the police officer have a chance to come and give you more guidance because you accepted the first one and he knows the path really well. He will tell you, before you go, in 10 miles you'll find a detour and something is happening there and being fixed. Be careful, slow down because of this. You take a right and then left and give you more guidance in the way. But he will not give you that guidance if you're not on this path. Right? Not only that, he can ride in front of you and take you through it too. Okay? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells about فَأَمَّا ثَمُودَ فهديناهم فاستحبوا العمى على الهدى. As for Thamud, we guided them, and they rather to be blind than being guided. So the guidance came to them. Allah's guided them, but they were not guided. So Allah here saying that I guide people, but they're still not guided. They're not guided. But at the same time, Allah says, I will guide whomever I wish. Okay? So that is now the equation becomes clear. Thamud was getting the first guidance, and they did not accept it. Khalas. Okay. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Layl وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَغْشَى وَالنَّهَارِ إِذَا تَجَلَّى, by the night as it comes and covers, and the day it comes and bright. وَخَلَقَ الذَّكَرَ وَالْأُنثَى, and the one who created male and a female. There are difference, like there are إِنَّ سَعْيَكُمْ لَشَتَّى. Your deed is different, male and a female, like night and day, right? They are different, okay? فَأَمَّا, as for أَعْطَى وَاتَّقَى وَصَدَّقَ بِالْحُسْنَى, became conscious and protected himself, being righteous, and confirm the husna, the day of judgment and so forth, and the reward. فَسَنُيَسِّرُهُ لِلْيُسْرَى, will make an easy path for him through easiness, will make a path to easiness easy. وَأَمَّا مَنْ, and as for the one, okay, بخل واستغنى, okay, أما من أعطى واتقى وصدق بالحسنى فسيئه. وأما من now and as for the one became miser and كذب بالحسنى, and denied al-husna, the day of judgment or the reward, and so forth, فسنيسره للعسرى, will make an easy path for him to difficulty. Imagine Allah will make an easy path for someone to difficulty. What does that mean? It means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you exactly what you want. Okay? Allah will give you exactly what you want. You are taking the guidance, you want the guidance, Allah will take your hand through this guidance and make an easy path to easiness. And you're refusing, you're choosing difficulty. And you insist on the difficulties, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make the path to difficulties easy. An easy path to difficulty. Okay? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us here that فَمَنْ شَاءَ ذَكَرَ وَمَا يَذَّكَّرُونَ إِلَّا أَنْ يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ. The one who wishes, he will take the remembrance. And this is, they will not remember unless Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will allow them to remember. Right? So you find this beautiful equation that you have choice in that which you make a decision in. You have no choice in that which you don't make decision in. You were not making a decision of how tall you're going to be. Okay? So that is, you have no choice in that. Okay? The sickness that comes to you and so forth, you have no choice in that. Allah put you in a certain looks and a certain experiences you're going to go through. You have no choices in it. Now in this, you have no choice. You're going in your life like that. You are created in such looks, and you're going to go through certain experiences and so forth. Okay. But in that which you have choices in, now you're going to be held accountable. You're not going to be held accountable how tall you are and so forth, or how beautiful or not beautiful you are and so forth. This is something that was given to you, right? But in that, what to do with it and how to behave, that is, you're going to be held accountable in that. Okay? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even tells us that you do not wish وَلَا تَتَمَنَّوا مَا فَضَّلَ اللَّهُ بِهِ بَعْضَكُمْ عَلَى بَعْضٍ. Do not wish for what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preferred some of you over others. Okay? Allah preferred you over others with certain qualities, and preferred others over you with certain qualities. You don't wish for that. Someone who's a certain strength that he has is capable of doing some work you cannot do because your muscle is not there, and you are small, and so forth. You don't wish for that. Allah created you a certain way, a certain ability, and created some others who's different. But you have something that the other person does not have. But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَاسْأَلُوا اللَّهَ مِنْ فَضْلِهِ, and ask Allah from His fadl. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in one ayah tell you, do not ask and ask. Right? Do not ask and ask. Do not ask for what Allah preferred you over others with, or others over you with, but ask for anything else as you wish after that. Okay? So how beautiful that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us this equation and making the companion understand this from the very beginning. And talking about the unseen and how important it is. How important to look at the day of judgment. In a very early age, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hit him with the unseen in a way of depth and clarity and saying, you're going to be like donkeys if you don't remember that and take this in account in your life and so forth. Okay. So it is the heart and the intellect, but also the heart has its own intellect, but the mind has its own intellect. But the intellect in the heart is the one that submits to that which it cannot touch, see, taste, or hear, but it can see it and know it that is coming from Allah, from the source of the absolute truth. So they take it as if they see it, So they are not like donkeys, but they are better than angels, because angels do not have a choice except to follow and obey. But a human being, that relationship between them and Allah is not a compulsion, but it is love. The angels, their relationship with Allah is they are compelled to do. The animals, the relationship with Allah, they are compelled to do. Instincts, they only do what is printed in their very soul and genes, if you will, the instincts. But a human being, no, is a different being. And when they follow because they have a relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In other words, there are certain attributes that Allah has that it is not magnified with the relationship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has with all other beings. But to human being, certain attributes are magnified, just like the two attributes that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ends the surah with. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ahlul Taqwa wa Ahlul Maghfirah. The one He is the one that you go for taqwa, to be righteous, to be protected, to be conscious of Allah. Okay? You go by choice, not like animals or angels that are designed to do that automatically. No, you're going there by choice. That is out of love, not out of compulsion. Okay? Out of love. And then Al-Maghfirah, Ahlul Maghfirah. The one who will forgive. Forgive meaning the door is always open. Yes, you heard, you were reminded, sometimes you forget, come back running. When you come back running, or come back walking, Allah will come to you running. That's a hadith Qudsi, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَنَا عِنْدَ ظَنِّ عَبْدِي بِي. I am what my slaves think of me. Okay? وَأَنَا مَعَ عَبْدِي. And I am with my slave when he remembers me. If he remembers me within himself, I will remember him in myself. If he remembers me and mentions me in a gathering, I will remember and mention him in a gathering better than the gathering he mentioned me in, meaning with the angels. And if he comes to me a hand span, I'll come a bigger distance. If he comes a bigger distance, I will come even bigger distance to him. So my walk to him, or my distance to him that I will come, a lot more than the one that he will come to me with. until he starts walking. If he walks to me, I will come to him running. Then that's it. This is the relationship. Okay? But to forget and do not think about the punishment in the hereafter, and you wanna just turn around and run away, then all you think about is how to seek pleasure, how to reproduce, and how to eat, and do not think of the day that you're going to be held accountable for all of this that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you. So, this is the end of Surah Al-Muddathir. Again, those who are listening to this, inshallah, go over these surahs again. Look at it now with a different look. Listen to the videos again, okay? And reflect on it. Because now we can put the brick of our life one over the other, to build a wall that is solid in ourselves and within the community. Okay? Now, what is the surah coming next? The surah coming next is Surah Al-Fatiha. And you would think that Surah Al-Fatiha will come first. Right? No, because Surah Al-Fatiha is the surah that the whole Quran is mentioned in it, in bullet points. Right? So you would think that would come first. No. That would even give more importance to what we said, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed us so far. Okay? Look at what we said so far in the 4 surahs. And you say, oh, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted us to know all of this before He prepare us for the Al-Fatiha. So again, look at the 4 surahs that for Al-Alaq first, and then Al-Qalam, then Al-Muzammil, then Al-Muddathir. So we can inshallah dive into Surah Al-Fatiha next time. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the guidance to see guidance and give us the ability to find what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us in guidance, and help us in articulating it and implementing it. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. If you would like to ask questions or make comments, inshallah.
On ayah 43, Allah is asking about the prayers, right? So
Remind me the ayah talking about?
I am talking about ayah 43.
Ayah 43 of
قالوا ألم نكن من
نعم قالوا لم نكن من المصلين.
Is he talking about prayers, or is he talking about so there was no salah or namaz, the 5 prayers at that time, right? That's the early times. This is the first Nabawi, I'm assuming, right, for the surah. So what prayers is being referenced here?
That's a very, very good question, because many scholars reflected on that. Even they say, what your question is, they say, لَمْ نَكُ مِنَ الْمُصَلِّينَ, we were not from those who are praying. Okay? Does that mean also the disbeliever will be accountable for prayer? They don't even believe. How could they be accountable for prayer? Right? So how this works? So some says yes, they will be accountable for their prayers because they're supposed to believe and pray. Okay? Now, the prayer was given to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam early. I'm not sure exactly in the distance of time or the time span, but the prayer there were prayed, but not the 5 prayers.
Yeah, but
Yes.
at that time, so this is like the 3rd revelation. So
Yeah, this is the 4th. Yes.
yes, the 4th.
Yes.
Revelation,
Yeah.
right? So what do we?
Okay, what did this word imply? Does it imply the prayer as we know it, prayer? Okay? Or the prayer meaning to Allah and Allah alone, in whatever way or form, or to connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Right? Okay. Remember at the beginning, Surah Al-Alaq, talking about the connection to Allah. Okay, that is the theme of the surah. Okay, and you should connect with Allah and Allah alone. And everything that happens, it happens by the permission of Allah, and everything that you receive from Allah, and human being cannot exist without this connection. Okay, in a way that is fruitful. Okay, and if a human being will, as we just said, that they will be, once they think themselves independent, they will disconnect with Allah. Okay, they will transgress. So this is, those we were not among those who are doing the prayer. Okay, doing the connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, yes, so, wallahu alam. And iqamat al-salah wa ita' al-zakah, this is a reference to it very early.
Yeah, so
yes.
Zakah was not the 2.5%.
No,
My understanding was even the kuffar used to give a lot more
Yes.
zakah than
Yes.
what today we give. In the time Muslims were actually brought down to 2.5%, but I was reading that the kuffar at that time used to give 40% of their income, 30% of their income as zakah. I'm not sure how accurate.
And not only that, the one Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about in this surah, ذَرْنِي وَمَنْ خَلَقْتُ وَحِيدًا, leave me alone with the one that I created by himself. In some opinion saying he is called the one wahid by himself because he has so much wealth that he would feed all the pilgrims that were coming for pilgrimage to Mecca by himself. The Meccans will take care of them, and then he'll say, everybody stop. The next, the rest of the time, I will do that by myself. So can you imagine how much wealth he's given? But at the same time, he's going and looking at the recitation and says it's nothing like, it's all the magic and it's all the saying of human being and all of that. And that's when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, سَأُصْلِيهِ سَقَرْ, I will take him into Saqar. So yes, there was generosity. But why they were generous? Because they were hoping that people call them the generous ones. Alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And is the first ayah implying about what Prophet did after the first revelation went and put the clothing on him?
Not necessarily immediately. Not necessarily immediately.
Yeah.
Okay? We talked about it before. It is al-muzammin al-muddathir, yes. There is, we say yes, because he was moved so much and so forth. But remember, Rasulullah saw Jibreel alayhi salam in the way he looked, in reality, covering the whole horizon, okay, with 600 wings, as Rasulullah says, okay, and that was way after the first revelation, okay. The first revelation, Rasulullah saw him as a man, came to him and hugged him, right? But afterwards, Rasulullah saw him, and when he saw this when he was really moved and shaken. So it could be after that time, not necessarily after the first revelation. Okay? And also some scholars talk about the overwhelming feeling that Rasulullah has. Because Rasulullah did not know what this is about now. Okay? It is something beautiful and it feels good. It's a relationship with Allah. But إِنَّا سَنُلْقِي عَلَيْكَ قَوْلًا ثَقِيلًا, we will throw a saying that is heavy on you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. So Rasulullah is sitting there and wrapping himself, and then over the wrapping he's covering himself. Okay? Like thinking, pondering, going in a corner and say, what is this and what am I going to do? Or you understand? Being overwhelmed. Yes.
So at this time we had we had 4 Sahabis who have accepted, like 3 or 4.
Yeah, I don't know the number exactly, but it is very early, yes. Yes. Oh, so far, brother is saying, so far we have 4 or 5 Sahabis now and say, I don't know exactly the number, but very little numbers, yes. Yeah. But remember, the Sahaba are listening to all of this now. Okay? Imagine that, Yes. Yeah. And now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teaching them, put some glasses on different now, seeing everything around them. We are so brainwashed by the environments all around us. Okay? we are now in a society that, and a system that has a very nice saying on paper: justice, equalities, and pursuit of this, and you understand, and all of this, right? And none of this being implemented. Okay, not even in the time it was said. Okay, and we know what those who wrote this, what they're doing to the world. Okay, but yet we, as the youth now, we're taking the pill, if you will. Okay, and so forth. That is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is doing the companions at that time, right? Looking at things in its clarity now. Because the Meccans were doing the same thing. They were saying, we are the best, we are this, we are that, right? And look at us, we took the Hajj, those Hujjaz are coming, we give them food, we give them to drink, we give them this, we take care of them. We are the descendants of Ibrahim alayhi salam. We are the descendants of Ismail alayhi salam, right? And they write poetries about this and that. But the misguidance, and they had good qualities still. They had some good qualities, no doubt about that. But they were developing a system that is totally, shirk system, okay? And so now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is putting, uncovering this with the absolute truth, and how to look things in clarity, and how to decipher between that which came down, that okays and take in what is going on in certain issues, and other issues to push it away completely, no compromise whatsoever. Okay, so matters becomes clearer and clearer. Yeah. Okay. Subhanak Allahumma bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta.